time. But first, I would like to welcome all of you to tonight's Callout. I know you guys might be wondering, what kind of situation did you find yourself in? Why are all these people here? Well, before I answer that question, let me take a step back and explain to you 3 teams that you can join today. The first team is a robotics, a student-led robotics team that has all aspects of robotics manufacturing vertically integrated into the team. The second team is a team focused on software development and building things like machine learning, AI, and computer vision related tasks. The third team is a competition-oriented team that participates in an esports style competition that takes League of Legends and FPS and combines them into one. Now, a robotics team, a software team, an esports team. Robotics, software, esports.
One more time?
Robotics, software, esports. Are you getting it? These are not 3 separate teams. This is one team. This is Robomasters. All right. So to answer what you guys are assembled here for, let me first pose a question. So any of you guys here recognize one or more of these products? Raise your hands. Okay, most of the room. Oh, well, this side of the room. All right, well, if you guys recognize these products, they are hosted by, this is made by the company DJI, better known as Dajang Innovations in China, and they are known for making the flagship Phantom drone, which is the drone you see here, and the drone you see in the top left corner right there. It's the same lineup, but this drone company revolutionized the camera industry, and they decided to host its little competition to be able to cut development costs. And so this is the Robomaster University Championship, which is why you're all gathered here to learn about it. So this competition is described by The Verge as the world's biggest, most complex, most overly the top student robotics competition. And you'll see why in a bit. But instead of, this competition was actually an intercollegiate league. So unlike FIRST and FRC, FIRST, FRC, and VEX, these are all like, they have the high school leagues. This is only college. And there are around 400 universities in China, and I think around thousands of universities globally. And with 30 or so in the US, but we'll get into that later, but we're grouped in the international group. This is, this competition, you might be wondering why these people are so happy here, you know, like, what's so exciting about it? They just won a $600,000 prize pool and a guaranteed internship at DJI, because they are the champion team. And this competition is a really huge thing in China, and there's a dedicated anime, documentary, and TV show for this event. And I would recommend watching the anime. Due to budget cuts, it's only like 6 episodes, so it's not like the best anime, but the art style, they put a lot of money into developing it. So stuff like that. But I'm gonna skip this video because it's kind of irrelevant to what we do. But this is the international battlefield. So as you see right here, Purdue University and UIUC and Rose-Hulman were grouped together in one section, but we're amongst the dozens or so universities that are competing in this competition. And most of them are in China, Shenzhen, China, here. And there are some in Europe and some in Southeast Asia. But the competition field is growing, and this is a new kind of event. So we're hoping to be able to see more international teams in the US soon. Robomaster University League. So this is the latest in the DJI Robomaster competition series. So like FRC probably had different modes and styles. This is one of those sub-competitions. And in it downsized from 7 versus 7 to 3 versus 3. So we built 3 robots instead of 7. And it's it was held in North America for the first time in 2021 in Texas A&M. And this league consists of a little over 20 to 30 teams. I think it's UIUC, Northwestern and UC Irvine are adding their teams to this pool this year. So it's quite a fast-growing community. And so we went inactive in 2021 due to the pandemic and reasons, but we'll get into that later. But as you can see, these are the 3 types of robots, and I'll show this video to explain what each of those do.
Welcome to Robomaster 2021 University League competition. There are 3 different robots on each team: Hero, Standard, and Sentry. Teams must begin from their starting zone. With each robot operating in first-person view, teams navigate a room-filled battlefield to find and launch projectiles at the opponent until they are eliminated. The robots are equipped with an armor system that detects projectile hit data, resulting in lower health points when triggered. Robots are destroyed if their health points reach 0. After a period of cooldown time, the destroyed robot will resurge and gain a protective shell for 10 seconds. As the only fully automated robot on the battlefield, the sentry can detect enemies' defense capabilities and shoot them. If the sentry is destroyed, then the team it belongs to loses its first line of defense. The team that destroys the enemy's base first is the winner. If the 5 minutes limit of the match runs out and both teams still have their bases intact, the team with the highest total HP wins.
Alright, so that's a quick rundown of what the competition is. And so, if you could direct your attention to this picture here, what's something interesting you noticed about this graph? Raise your hands. Any guess? No? No takers? Anything? You're not allowed to say anything. No? No one? No, you're not allowed to say anything. Alright, fine. Tony.
There's no MIT.
That's right. MIT's not on there, so that's an opportunity for us. Because anything MIT touches that's robotics related is So what happened in 2021? So we were inactive 2021, and you might be wondering why. And so before I get into that, let's start with Team Origin. So this team was formed in 2017 by Evan Hug, right here, our president. And so he and a few other international students started this team when he was a sophomore. And the club was around 150 members, 83 or so active, so it was a really large team. But after COVID, well, this died. So after COVID, most of the seniors that were very capable in the team all graduated and flooded out, and that left us with a very inactive Slack channel from September all the way to March. And Dr. Williams was asking, hey, is anyone alive? And by the time the 2021 semester started, it was only 2 people. Well, actually only 1. It was just Lewis. Being all lonely, trying to start the AI competition by himself, and to no avail because no one wanted to join. And so that's why it was not a great situation to be in, because the other team started wondering, where do we go? Purdue dipped. This is the North American channel. This is screenshots from the actual chat. And so how do we come back? Right? You gotta defibrillate, right? You gotta shock it, right? Okay, so let me tell you a story. So how did it all ever start? Well, some freshman was wandering around campus and trying to in search of a cool club to join, and he heard about Robomasters his junior year and was trying to find, where is this team, where is it gone? He sent out emails, went around the club fair 6 times. It's a true story. And as a last-ditch attempt, he sent the advisor an email who was not really trying to get this club started again. He just kind of like directed him to someone else so he can get him off his back. And 4 days later, he got a response. And it says, this is Zijan from Robomasters Club, and what's relevant is these 2, which is we're planning to have a call out, and can you find anyone that's interested in doing anything related to robotics stuff? And if you haven't guessed, this person is standing right before you. And I sent Evan, his number is blacked out here. I sent him a 3-page research paper over text saying, please let me join. I just want to build some cool robots. And then he basically was he got on a Zoom call with me, right? And then we talked for like an hour and a half. He's like, this guy talks way too much. But then what was funny is that I talked a lot in Mandarin, and so he was just like, why does this guy talk so much and he can speak Mandarin? And then but then what really sold me to start with him was Evan's cat. He was like just way too cute to resist. So I was like, all right, cool. We'll try to get started together. And then 2 weeks later, Evan was like, Max, you're really suited for project manager. You should just throw your picture up here and just be our project manager. And I was like, but I have no qualifications whatsoever, right? And then he's like, not important. Just throw your picture up there. And so that's how I became the project manager. But I like to say that I'm in training, so Evan's really the one calling the shots around here. And so now, after a year of recruiting, we were registered for the 2022 season, and so, yay, Rash, Alright, and so, the state of the club. So, that was literally our club. It was just the 3 of us, and that's how bad the situation was. And so here's some of the past numbers. We had around 78 active members. We had a lot of distinct nationalities. 9 total sponsors, 4 of whom were not related to Purdue. And we used to have an additional sub-team, but these are just kind of past numbers to get a sense of what it was like, right? This is the sponsors we used to have: John Deere, Andy Mark, SolidWorks. Arconic. Honestly, I don't really know what those three do, but like they seem like engineering-related organizations, so you know, it is what it is. And look at our glorious leader right here pushing an engineer robot, which is a type of robot that we won't be building, but hopefully one day we will. And that's the where I got the Callout poster from. So that's the old logo. Doesn't look great. It looks like a 90s action figure. And it's up here. I want to see our new logo up there. And this is the status of this year's fleet. Evan built 2 standards already. One of them is here. And Roy, our new balancing standard lead, is going to build an additional standard robot. And Neil and Matthew, our new leads, are also going to build a Sentry robot, which is fully autonomous. So, team structure. Now, I would like to take a moment here to, because we have the honor of having 3 amazing faculty advisors that are very, very active and are here with us today. And I just want them to be able to show you. So Dr. Ben Fong is from Industrial Engineering. He's new hire to Purdue along with Dr. Hashemi and the ECE department. Dr. Chan is also a very impressive, he does a lot of very cool low-light computer vision stuff. And so would the 3 of you like to take a moment, stand up and maybe introduce yourself and talk about your research or you can come to the front.
Hi everyone. My name is Dr. Alfaz Hashemi, and I'm an assistant professor in the School of Electrical and Computer Engineering. My research is related to coming up with algorithms for distributed machine learning systems. So essentially, systems that their aim is to leverage data to come up with algorithms to accomplish some tasks. And as Max will talk about, it's going to be quite relevant to what we do in the club because we have robots that the aim is to shoot bullets to other robots autonomously, right? So coming up with algorithms that can use training data, existing data, to do that is going to be quite important. So that's my research, and so I was fortunate to get to know Max and other members last year. So Max just, as you mentioned, showed up in my office to start talking.
I got lost.
Yeah, unannounced, yeah. But yeah, so.
Actually, that day I was trying to look for Dr. Chan, actually. So Dr. Chan, would you like to explain your research, take a moment? And,
sure.
Yeah, and Dr. Vine can stand up. All 3 of you guys can introduce yourself.
All right, so first of all, thank you for coming. This is a very exciting moment as you look around, you see how many faces that you don't know. So that's the impressive situations that we're in. This is my first time joining this club, but this is my 9th year for you. I've been here for a really long time. It is a very interesting competition, and it's going to integrate a lot of things. It's hard. It's very difficult. I know you're coming here for different reasons. Some are here, I want to learn something. Some are here, okay, I want to compete in this competition. No matter what reasons that you're here, we welcome you. As faculty members, we will do our best to support you. But there's a difference, right? You're not going to run the team. That's for sure. The team is your team. You win the competition, you own all the credits, not us. We can provide you support to back up the organization suggestions. If you ever run into trouble, of course, we're going to clean up the mess for you. That's our job. But I hope that you'll find this a good, rewarding learning experience, as Nan says. There's some great opportunities out there, both winning the competition and also gaining internship opportunities, learning something that you cannot learn in a classroom. But we do expect students to come and contribute. You're not here to just learn, it's not a class, right? So there won't be a professor standing here teaching you materials. We expect you to come and contribute. With a club of 100 members here, I can tell 90% will come and go, and I hope that we can retain more members. And usually in an organization of this kind of scale, 10% of people will do 90% of the job, and then 90% of people will enjoy the 10% people's work. So we want to revert that direction, okay? To reverse that, I hope 90% of the people will do then 100% of a job. How about that? Okay, so contribute. I know a lot of you that you are really, really new. You don't even know how to get started. I have meetings with the leadership teams, regular meetings with the leadership teams, to make sure that we can divide the tasks into smaller pieces. So even if you don't know anything, come and help. There will always be a task that you can help. Okay? Talk to Max, talk to Ivan, and find out what you can do in this team. The goal here is very simple. I told the leadership team, this year, don't get number 4. Let's get number 1. Okay?
You can call me Dr. Fong. I joined Purdue last year, so I'm a little bit different from Dr. Chan and the other professor. I'm not a research professor. I'm actually from industry, 30 years experience. So the good thing is for this whole project, as I talk to the leadership team, reach out to me, is I work with industry every day. Okay, I'm in charge of the professional master program. So currently I have 13 different industrial sponsors right now, like they name it, Tesla, Caterpillar, GE Aviation, Canon Medical, Cummins. So the key things is I've been to where you guys are, okay? When I was at GE, when we developed the CT scanner, just our system engineering group, we have 60 image quality scientists, biomedical engineers. The whole group, when I managed the team with the software, firmware, quality, with over almost 200 people. So seems like it, right? So this is a big project. As I explained to the team, this is a typical NPI, new product introductions or new product development process. So the team needs to be committed. There's a lot of hard work and a lot of hours you need to spend, but whatever you put into the hours is going to translate into your resume. Trust me. When people, next week, right, IR, right, when they ask you, what have you done at Purdue? They don't just care about your GPA. They care about what you've done at Purdue. So it's very important, about the team collaboration, about the strategy, and also about the technologies you learn about from the classes. So hopefully there's a step-by-step with the team, and it's exciting to have such a huge group, right? And the leadership team has to do a lot of work to help to organize this group so that we can make a good use of each of you. And my research background actually was way back was in AI mechatronics control. I taught robotics too, okay? Even though I'm in industrial engineering, so, but my background was in mechanical mechatronics. So I used to work in R&D also at Caterpillar and Rockwell, obviously, Allen Bradley control, and also GE Healthcare. So, but my key things is help the team to reach out to other companies, especially for the sponsorship, type of work. But again, if there's anything I can help in regards to career-wise, industry, what is the real world about, be my guest. Come to ask me. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Again, I'd just like to point out, find another club that has 3 advisors present at their call out, and what I'm saying is we're incredibly honored to have these 3 very busy people to be able to jump down with us in the trenches to be able to sort out and hash out issues with us. And so I'm very incredibly honored to have the 3 of them. So another round of applause, please. Thank you. Let me hand this off to, let me do a quick introduction. So Algorithm Team is led by Lewis and our incoming lead, Tom. Would you 2 of you like to stand up for a moment? So those 2 are the algorithm leads. So if you have any computer vision related questions or software related questions, go to them. The next team is mechanical. So Roy, can you stand up? Matthew and Neil. These 3 are your new mechanical leads. This is the electrical leads. So Connie, Darvin, and Rombo. Or you guys, you 3 stand up? Well, Romo's here today, so there you go. There's controls. So Leo, would you like to stand up? Their controls lead. And your Elizabeth, if you are here, your business lead. So these are your leads and kind of what we do in each of their respective areas. And I'll hand this off to the first team, algorithm team, either Tom or Lewis, would you like to? There you go. All right, just project it. Just project it.
Yes, yeah.
What's up, guys? I'm Tom. I'm the incoming team lead for the algorithm team. So you may be wondering what we do in the algorithm team. And the biggest thing we do is computer vision. And there's a lot that goes into this, but the biggest one I'd say is probably the neural network, which we use to detect enemy robots. And for that, we use what's called YOLO V5 along with PyTorch. Some of you may have heard of PyTorch. And then we also work with depth and distance estimation, which means we have to be able to figure out how far away our robot is from an enemy robot. And then we also do pose estimation via what's called perspective endpoint. And that allows us to get the rotation matrix of the robot along with depth and other information. We also do motion prediction, meaning velocity, acceleration, position via a Kalman filter. And finally, we use UART to do communication with the referee system, which is kind of the governing body of the whole competition. It makes sure all robots are functioning and they're not breaking any of the rules. And part of that is making a GUI for the driver so they can tell the robot's HP, how fast they're going, their current power consumption, and just metrics that are like that. And you can see on the right side there, it's a demo of our neural network, which puts a box around the robot there, and it also tells you its current position, its current velocity, and all the good info like that. So I'll hand it off to Lewis for this one.
Yeah, so for the algorithm team, our plans for this year mainly focus on three parts. So the first part is the auto image system. There's more information regarding that on the next slide. The next is the autonomous sentry. So from the earliest video, you probably see that there's a robot on the rail. That robot is completely autonomous. So we have to program AI for that, or maybe the control team has to do, but we have to make sure that it's able to perform whatever it needs to do, target the enemy, completely autonomous. And the third goal for this year is to review the data set. Right now, our data set is around 10,000 images stable, but it's recorded in the basement of the Backward Design Center, and the lighting condition is not necessarily realistic to the competition. And we have a ton of recordings from the real competition that we need to label. It's very intensive to label them manually. So we have to sort out a way of simplifying the process and more about the auto aim system. So it's called aim assist because the driver will take main control of this robot, but we're gonna have a camera on the robot, on the turret, that's gonna be able to recognize the enemy automatically and automatically targeting it. For a simple, the driver simply needs to point the gimbal at the enemy robot for the algorithm to lock on. Anyway, it needs to be able to lock on the enemy robots, and it needs to be able to fire automatically. It also needs to predict the enemy robot's movement using the Callout filter that we previously mentioned. It's a ton of linear algebra related things, but also computer vision and machine learning. We also need to implement the UART communication, which basically means that using some sort of protocol, it's able to communicate with the STM32, which is controlling the movement of the robot. Here's a demo of what we are trying to achieve.
I got it.
So you see that the turret is tracking the other way automatically. But this is kind of jagged, and we are hoping to improve it. And
21 left or right.
that's right. So this is the depth estimation. So this is only using the bounding box of the detection algorithm to try to estimate the distance of the other way. There's gonna be some caveats, there's gonna be some disclosure, so the estimation is not gonna be perfect, and we're hoping that we can devise a better algorithm for that. They're using perspective endpoints for whatever technology that we come across.
Mechanical team.
I'm the balancing standard robot lead.
I'm Neil Singh. I'm one of the Sentry team co-leads.
And I'm Matthew Light, the other Century team lead.
Yeah, and the main job of mechanical teams include like designing new robots, which is I think is the most complicated but most interesting part. Installing new robots, and also like hardware functional testing, and also the old robots maintaining. Sorry. So basically, we already have 1 robot done and 2 robots on the way. And we are going to briefly explain the 3 robots, starting from Sentry.
Alright, so for the Sentry, you heard a little bit about it. It's the only robot on the field that's fully autonomous, which means no humans controlling it. And it's on this little rail that's defending the base. So it needs to like have some system to move along the rail. And it also has to have a turret, so we can either have like two barrels that shoot, so we can either have like 1 movable turret with 2 barrels, or we could have 2 movable turrets, which is really cool. So there's a lot of like design possibilities we can explore with that.
And one of the existing robots we have already, the 4-wheel shooter, the Mechanism Standard, which is like sitting right here. What's really cool about this robot, it's a little bit different than the Sentry one, is that it's maneuverable. It actually moves on the field, so one of the ones that a pilot will be controlling. Moreover, it has a wheel suspension, and it also has fire projectiles, like all the wheels. That's pretty cool.
In addition, the Magnum wheel standard robots have 4 armor boards. We call it armor board, and it's the only place we can deduct the opponent's HP. Like the places we are going to attack is the armor boards. And then we come to the balancing standard, which is a robot on the way. And this is the function is pretty similar to Magnum standard because both of them can like run around the battlefield, shooting, attacking the opponent's like the base and also the opponent's robots. But since it only have 2 general wheels instead of 4 Magnum wheels, they can be more flexible, faster, and also sometimes they can be more offensive. And also since 2 wheels, it's okay. And since balancing standard have 2 wheels, they also can install only 2 armor boards, which means they can better protect themselves.
Alright, so some of our goals for the season. So with the Sentry, we have like 3 main goals, and they're kind of built off each other. 1, we want a Sentry that can just turn on and connect to the referee system, because that gives our base more HP. And they also have to like kill the Sentry before they get to the base. 2, the Sentry can actually move along the rail, because then it's harder to hit. So delays our base destruction even more. And the 3rd is for it to shoot. So it can defend the base and destroy other robots. And we really think we're going to get to all 3 and have a really good functioning robot come next year.
Now, moving on from the Sentry, some of the other goals we have are just to currently optimize robots we do have. Now, one of the robots, the standard robot RBG, or as technically quite Rombo's girlfriend, somewhere there. Right.
Where's
Rumble.
Yeah, my girlfriend. Yeah, so with that robot, one of the things that we really want to highlight, focus on was the actual shooting system. Right now it's pretty slow, it's a little inaccurate. So that's a mechanical job as well as an algorithm job to sort of correct that.
Yeah, and also we are going to complete the balancing standard robot, which is on the way, and it already have a chassis there, and we are going to add more things on it. The second one, we are going to show this is a video. Yeah, this is a video of the balancing standard. It's her shooting system.
They had to limit that to 18 meters per second, because otherwise you kill a squirrel if you go any faster.
Yeah, this is a regulation. This is a rule.
Oh, yeah.
As motion video, the shooting is not that accurate. And the thing we are going to do is we are going to optimize the shooting system to make it more accurate. And if we can like increase the shooting frequency. That's it. And if you guys have any questions or do you want to know more about mechanical tuning, feel free to like come to us before, after the call. Thank you.
Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Rongbo, electrical leader from liberal art. Well.
Boyfriend of RGB.
Well, and I'm very happy you guys come here. First of all, I want you guys do some test. Try to roll your neck to the back. Can you do it? Roll your neck to the back. No, right? Your neck only can roll like 90 degrees to 90 degrees. 90 degrees to 90 degrees, right? But the robot is not. The robot can roll like all the way, like this, and the still get connect, and the top part and the chassis still get connection, although the robot's neck rolls like a circle. It's amazing, right? That is remove it. That is the historical member, Callout and others design. They design a cool system. They design a cool slippery system and a PCB like that. And thanks for Connie and Darwin, they did not come here, and they make those PCB to the real. So the robot can work very well right now. And that is history member, and we did last year. Right now is the time for us. So in the future, this is the diagram, the right now diagram of the whole robot. So in the future, the plan of this semester, I will train people in electrical team learn how to fix the robot, how to connect all the referee system together, and how to make the list of the slip ring, how to use the slip ring, and how to design a PCB or make the PCB real and put in the robot. That's a very interesting thing, and those things will give you in ECE or in ME, super advantage in your class, in your course, and give you super advantage in your personal career life and academic life. For example, if you know how to design PCB, then you will get you can do some project, and you can write it down in your personal statement, or you can do very great job in your senior design. Well, so that's about go to more detail. First of all, what I want you guys is every day we happy running 8 hours, happy playing 8 hours, and happy sleeping 8 hours. Well, that's fine. I hope everyone can get 8 hours sleep, because in the real competition, only Purdue, we sleep. We sleep a lot in the real competition season. But other teams, they just work all the night, but they cannot. Their robot is still not working. So thank Evan did not good. So out of the 8 hours, if you guys have some free time, you can just come electrical team and in the meeting to learn something and to get some train and do some contribution to the team and contribution to your personal life, personal academic life and career life. So we in the detailed time we have 5 sections of 5 level of the training. So from the basic, we will learn how to do some electronics that will give you good thing. How many you in FY first engineering? Well, cool. You're good. And if no matter you may take 2K1 in the future. I'm the TA of 2K1. So if you come here to the meeting and you will you may get a higher score in the future in 2K1 class. And Hashimi also the professor of the 2K1. And for the second is assemble. We will learn how to assemble the referee system together, and during that we will learn about some engineering term and engineering knowledge in the real world, like the electrical system in the car. Used to the real car. So and the second to the manufacturer, and we will learn how to make a PCB, and then we will design a PCB. At the end, we will develop a real engineering system, use all the electronics and those things together, and to make some function, build some new function of the robot to make the robot better. So if you have any question, you can just come here to ask me, and thank you very much. That is all. I hope I'm the fastest one. Yeah.
So the controls team. I spent way too much time trying to crop out that JPEG of a STM32. Because you know your peers. Yeah.
Dude, you know, I changed it. You want to do the demo? No, I can do it later. Okay, I can just follow the slide first. Alright, I guess that's enough technical talking. I will try to skip the technical part for now, as much as possible, because you have at least like 1 year to learn about it. So don't get too soon into that yet. But basic introduction of myself. My name is Leo. I'm your control lead. I'm a junior in mechanical engineering, and I constructed the whole system for this current vacuum wheel standard. Alright, so a little about this robot. So what we do is basically we control the whole robot, right? We deal with the lower level communication, so that includes protocols such as CAN, I2C, if you have heard of them, SPI and stuff like that. We deal with higher level behavior that include control of the behavior models and stuff. So like how the whole robot will move, like the inverse kinematic calculation and stuff. I won't go too deep into that. We use a lot of feedback control, mostly PID, because that's easiest to implement. The other controllers are harder to implement due to their requirement for a specific model. And we use FreeRDOS. It's a real-time operating system in STM32 that help us manage the whole system. All right. So the current system is written using STM32, PO, and CubeMX. Our main control board is provided by DJI. It's called Robomasters board 8. We will add a few more functions once the reference system got added, is debugged. And we are developing the control code for the two-wheel self-balancing infantry. Right. This is our current system structure. You can have a look. We use interrupt timer as well as FreeRDOS. We control all kinds of motors, sensors, and stuff. And we do higher level behavior, as you can see on the very right. All right. Okay. So let me show some demos. This is the fun part of the day. Yep. So this is our current robot. So this is a function that you have probably seen in competition or prior videos. So basically, the robot is able to move while spinning, also keep the gimbal at a steady state position as well. So in that way, you are spinning, right? So your armor plate is also spinning. So that makes the opponent very hard to aim to you. And also you can still shoot them because your gimbal is free to move. Okay, the other demo which I'm showing right now is
let me try to see if we can get the dock cam hooked up so you can.
Yeah. So this is a prototype I made for the self-balancing robot. Right now it's kind of mature. However, it's just a prototype, but it does show some basic functionalities. Yep. Okay, good.
You're skipping way ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if people on the back can see, but if you can't, try your best. Oh, you can see. Drive it forward.
Drive it so the back row can see.
Someone cannot see can just stand up.
Yeah, if you want to see, just stand up. Yeah. Okay, so this is a self-balancing robot. It uses a pretty standard cascade control for PID that helps the robot to balance. And also because of its robustness, even if you go down, I can still make it stand up. Sorry, that goes into corner. You probably can't see it.
I go to check.
Even I can't. Probably just take it out. Okay. Yeah. Right, yeah. Now it's back again. Yep. We're good. So, yeah, even if it goes down, you can still stand up. So this is something that we'll do with a bigger version, a full-scale robot that has a gimbal. Right now it has no head and no mouse, obviously, because it can't shoot. So, but this is a basic prototype that we made.
Yeah. So the mechanical team will help Leo to build the robot like this for the balancing robot.
Bigger one.
Yeah, the bigger one.
Alright, Neil's pet. Alright. Real quick, so business team. So that's kind of what Elizabeth and I are in charge of. So let me quickly run through. I know you guys kind of got a sneak peek at the slide, but yeah. So the business team, we find money and people. Just two things. Very important, very hard to find. So at least I know that we found the people, but now comes the question of money. And so that's where the if anybody here wants to do sales or wants to do like sponsorship outreach, this is a great opportunity for you because we don't have that many as a community for this competition and as a team. So a lot of the sponsors that you saw in the past were gotten from the department, so none of them are from outside and independent sources. And this and so for our team this year, we have a few goals. But before I get to that, we are broken down into 3 main sub-branches. So it's outreach, so event planning and competition hosting, career fairs, stuff like that, recruiting, and sponsorships. And then there's the marketing team. And so if any of you guys are graphic designers here or have done like social media marketing stuff before, I really need your help to be able to build a social media presence so we can promote products and stuff like that and maybe get more sponsorships. And designing merch for our team because I really want really cool jerseys with our logo on it. And the finance team, so accounting, tracking inventory, and purchases. So that's very important as well. For the goals for the season, we want to be able to host a regional match with UIUC and Rose-Hulman at the Armory. We want to be able to grow a social media presence on LinkedIn and increase our SEO visibility because right now if you go on Google and search Purdue student robotics, I think we're ranked number 4. I want us to be number 1. And so that is just a goal of mine and being able to develop a LinkedIn and alumni network because we want to be able to graduate and come back and be able to help each other and cultivate this team in the long run because being able to get to number 1 in the US might not happen during our year. And so upgrading our marketing material, uniforms, merch, I already said that, but that's kind of what it's like. So this year's results, this is taken at Texas A&M. The true story of this behind this picture was Tom was trying to get some data sets and he was recording a video and he had his robot out. And the other teams thought it was a group picture, so they all brought their robots out. And it just became this awesome like display of like robots from all these different schools. If you I think ours is like somewhere, I think ours is like right there, I think. But that's kind of that's really cool. And so this year, some of the major achievements we've done. So Dr. Champion and our team launched a VIP course you can take next semester. We're overbooked right now. But this is, you can learn auto labeling, model comparison, and data augmentation, which is our team. I'm taking it because I actually don't know anything about this, so I'm curious. And ICRA, we got 3rd prize, and this year, remember this picture? So earlier I said, hey, they were dipping, Purdue's gone. So some of the other teams started a discussion if we were going to be back this semester. So as a response, I sent them a T'Challa meme. I sent them a picture of me and said, hey, I'm bringing a hammer to Texas. And boy, did we do that because we placed 4th in North America this year. So round of applause to them. For the sake of keeping things formal, because this is recorded, UT and Rose-Hulman, if you guys are here and seeing this video, thank you for offering up your robot. The true story behind how we got a Sentry is we were sitting down eating chicken dinner, and then we're like, it would be nice to have a Sentry, just have 600 extra health points. And I was like, consider it done. So I run upstairs and I find Rose-Hulman, which built 3 robots, and none of them were working except the Sentry. And so we're like, hey, look, the only way you can compete is if you join our team, which it just so happens we have a spot for a Sentry. And so they offered it to us, and we formed a team, and we went, and Evan's robot kind of carried a lot of the damage. It was the dealer, and then we managed to place strategically. It was convenient that the strongest teams like Texas A&M had their robots break down at the exact time, and we just exploited that. And then so that's how we got. We almost beat them, but that's how we didn't actually beat them technically. So it's not a sustainable 4th place. So we need to build up our systems and technical infrastructure this year to make sure we can secure that title and move up. So 2023 season, this year it will be in Seattle because they wanted it, and we're gonna be flying to Seattle, guys. And if you guys have family members up there, just use this as a great excuse to get sushi. And so this is pretty cool. But this year's the goal is to teach, engage, and familiarize yourself the system, the team, and the equipment that we use. We're building a standard, a mechanism standard, and a Sentry robot for the 2023 season. And this is the roadmap. So this, as you look here, 3v3 is where we want to be able to complete our full fleet, including a Sentry, being able to upgrade the fleet, having it fully optimized, and going autonomous, so implementing certain aim assists, being able to scale and be able to do, remember that video in the beginning, 7v7? Yeah, I want to be able to do that for my senior year. So hopefully we will be able to go to China and just have our picture up there. We can lose, but we get all the nice merch. So it's like, you know. Because being able to go to, because right now only 1 or 2 teams can go to have the resources to fly to China and lose, and that's University of Washington and maybe Virginia Tech. But Virginia Tech is really just a transplant version of the Chinese team. They're basically a bunch of international students which came to Virginia Tech, started a team, and because they're all Chinese, they bought like a freaking warehouse in China and built the robots there. So it's kind of like really an American team. So we have Chinese roots, but we've transitioned mostly to an American team. So that's why we want to be able to be an American team going over there and compete. So let's just, I think they'll be really mad because I'm Taiwanese also. So like, if I'm if we do well, they'll figure out that I'm Taiwanese and I'm American. So I can say thank you in 2 languages and really rub them the wrong way. And so, what's in it for you? That was taken at Ross 8. So I thought it would be useful and, threw it up that right here. So, it's a great opportunity to put on your resume, like Dr. Fong said. Some of you guys are here maybe to, learn invaluable technical skills. Some of you guys want to contribute more. I don't know what your reasons is, but here are some of the reasons that we've come up with. And research opportunities, industry connections, forming lifelong friendships, guerrilla competing. These are all of the reasons that I'm here. Some of you guys might have, but here's the reason that I really care about. I only care about the 10th and most important reason. Bragging rights. And so, I want to be able to go to China or go come back and we can say, hey, we're number 1, sponsor us. And so we do not recognize participation awards, and that's the result of that. So stuff like that. And what's the end goal here? So where do we want to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or well past where we be? Well, it's really simple. It's really simple. 3 things. First thing is become the best team in the country. Easy. Yeah. What's the second one? Anyone want to guess? Best team in the country. That's all right. That's right. If you know this, don't spoil it. But say it again. Don't spoil it if you know it. But what do you think the third thing is? Not best team in the world. It's the keeper. Sorry, my ass. Come on, let's beat these guys. Let's come to Indiana, start a team, beat those teams. And so that's the real goal. I want to do that. That's more doable than the other two. But hey, if we do that, I'm happy. And so what does that look like? Look at the mascot of Berkeley. He's so happy. He just got a fast stack of cash for those international students, right? They're all happy. I'm California. I'm out here in Indiana. So what do? We just start a team, right? We bring in our standard here. We just chill. Look how happy we're we'll bring Pete. If we can get the mascot to fly over with us, that'd be cool. Just to scare the hell out of the team. And then here I'll hand it off to Rachel. So you guys might be wondering how you guys can kick Berkeley's ass, and Rachel will introduce how to do that.
Hi, my name is Rachel. I'm your onboarding team lead. So essentially how you guys can get started, the first thing you're going to do, Oh, thank you. So before entering the competition development stage, the majority of you guys will be participating in one of 2 projects. We have a balancing robot, which has mechanical, electrical, and control subteams, and we also have an auto turret project, which includes mechanical, electrical, algorithm, and control. And essentially how this will work is that you guys are going to indicate which program you're interested in and what subteam you want to join. And it's my job to organize you guys into those groups, manage that, make sure everything's going smoothly. And then after that, you guys are free to join the development team after you graduate. So how the timeline looks, as soon as possible, we've got a couple of QR codes in the next slides. You're going to indicate your interest and fill out the onboarding project interest form. The 2 projects were already demonstrated up above, but we also have videos of them in the Discord, and you're free to ask any of our leads if you have any additional questions. Between mid-September, we're going to be learning the basics, so you're going to be working with your team project leads to take around a month, 2 weeks to a month to learn all of the fundamentals. After that, you're going to be working on your project with your team, and you'll spend about a month to a month and a half working on that. And lastly, around fall break, you're going to be able to graduate with your working mini balancing robot or rotating automatic turret, and you'll then be able to jump in with the competition development team and start working on the larger scale projects. Oh wait, I'll close. Sorry, thank you. Oh, and this slide here is just a couple of softwares and programs that you guys should be familiar with if you're interested in joining us.
Quickly, I'll interrupt, but if you guys have the software, that's great. We will provide licenses, but like if you have those downloaded already, these are the ones that you can download. If you can get them yourself, then that's great. But it's again, we'll provide those.
And just to be clear, if you guys don't know how to use any of these softwares or have no experience whatsoever, that is totally okay. That's the reason we have these onboarding projects. It's that so you guys can screw up and practice in our smaller projects so that when the big thing comes, you guys will be well prepared. Okay, so like Max said, our team is still recovering from our death back a few years ago, but we all think that this team has a really promising future. And I and everybody else here hopes that you guys will come join us to experience the next season together.
That's the onboarding form, and then if you're not in the Discord, join the Discord, and all right, but photobot, but oh yes. By the way, if you guys have any questions, raise your hand right now. Any general questions I can answer. Go ahead, Susan. What's up?
About how many hours a week is a time commitment?
What was that?
How many hours a week is a time commitment?
So time commitment. Time commitment. You guys might be wondering. So, well, time commitment wise, I think we understand your students. We're minimizing the amount of hours you spend. So that's why we have these onboarding projects. So probably no more than 2 to 3 hours every week. The meeting times are only 2 hours. But my response to that question is, as an obsessed person, do you really tell your girlfriend how many hours like you spend and like you measure your love for them based on the amount of hours? No, you spend all the hours outside of your schoolwork just doing that. So that's kind of like how I would compare myself. That's my personal philosophy.
For a like a normal person answer, we would usually expect like 2 hours, 2 to 5 hours. Obviously, we want you to focus on your schoolwork first. So if you couldn't, please focus on your schoolwork first and then focus on the project.
Any other questions? General questions? What's up?
What days do you meet on?
What days do we meet on?
Yeah.
So we usually meet Saturdays 2 to 4 at Bechtel Innovation Center. So that is like right across the street from Black Cultural Center and the Honors College, so that intersection there. We'll have the locations posted. It's in the Discord. And any other questions? Come on, there's a big room. You guys gotta have questions. Don't be shy. If you guys have any Saturday.
Wait a second.